What was it called? The
A
Christmas
Christmas
Chronicles?
Chronicles. As if they're gonna get another one. The ambition. Anyways, welcome back to welcome to the TCAD 10-minute take. It is I, Sheree L. Stewart, spy, international woman of mystery, and my co-host Don, the Legend Chambers. We are here this holiday season to talk about the Netflix original movie, The Christmas Chronicles.
Yes, we are.
All right,
yes,
Don, I will
let's get
set
this going.
the timer.
Ooh, let's get this going.
Go.
Christmas Chronicles, starring Kurt Russell, 2 annoying kids, and a bunch of randoms. What can I say? Okay, let me say this. It is well known that people that have asked me, I've never really dug kid actors. I find them annoying. I find most of their acting to just be overwrought and just a bit much. But usually the movies aren't meant for me. I mean, it's mainly kid actors in PG movies or kid type movies for kids. And that's fine. You know, now sometimes, don't get me wrong, kid actors do great. The Sixth Sense, Haley Joel Osment, awesome. Okay? But I'm watching this movie and I'm like, oh my God. A, the little girl was annoying. Her older brother, Teddy, even more annoying. They laid the cheesiness of this movie on so thick. I prayed whenever Kurt Russell was on the screen because Kurt Russell was enjoyable. He's great. He's a great Santa Claus. He really does. And he was fun. I enjoyed watching him. But anything to do with those goddamn kids was like, and their situation of, you know, they were in a 2-parent house. And when they were in a 2-parent house, this father who seemed way overly excited about Christmas, which I found just a little weird too, but whatever. And then everything was perfect. And then, however, we find out the dad dies because they go through this long monologue about it, which it's also another one of those movies where everything is just monologued out to sort of explain it to you. It's like, Jesus Christ, really? But you find out the dad dies in line of duty. I think he was either a cop or a fireman. I couldn't really tell looking at the
Yeah, I think he was a fireman.
Maybe it was a fireman. So he dies in a job, and then the kid turns to a life of crime, robbing cars with his gang, you know, whatever. It was just like, I'm like, even that part, I'm like, okay, I can feel for somebody having lost their pops. I get it. But you know what? They were still living in a really nice house. The mom was still nice. She had a good job. She was holding it down. I'm like, you were doing better than a whole lot of kids out there. A whole lot. And so you in this little angry phase, I was not understanding. That's neither here nor there. Needless to say, I just wasn't feeling that. I'm watching. It's a feel-good Christmas movie. It's light. You know, it's nothing hardcore or serious. You immediately know right from when Kurt Russell shows up and you get the vibe for the movie. You're like, okay, you know this is going to work out in the end. You already see the beats and what's happening. The part I also really enjoyed, though, was the end when Goldie Hawn showed up, who, I mean, it's been Kurt Russell and Goldie Hawn forever. And I was like, that makes perfect sense. She should be his Mrs. Claus. I did enjoy that. I thought that was great casting. Overall, this movie was not meant for me. It really was not meant for me. And granted, it was a Netflix movie, but if it was a theater movie, oh, this is definitely when it gets to the Dollar Theater on a Tuesday at noon.
You would go see it in the theater, or you just would wait for
when it gets to the Dollar Theater.
You would wait for it to come out on Netflix, or you would actually go to the theater?
If let's put it this way. I know it's on Netflix, so for me to watch on Netflix, it has to be when I've broken a leg and I've got nowhere to go, and it's on. So it's like, fine, I'll watch it.
Yeah, you had like oral surgeries.
I did have oral surgery. I needed to look. I'd have to wait till it hit the dollar theater. And then I'm like, it's only $1. Fine. If I was to give it a number, oh boy, I'm giving it a 5. And it's only because of Kurt Russell. And then when Goldie Hawn shows up. Oh, if that's a spoiler, I'm sorry. And I don't care. Because
you had a lot more to say about this movie than you thought you did, sir.
I really did, because I was just watching. I'm like, oh, this is so.
Because your 5 minutes is up.
Oh, God. That's it. You may continue.
All of that's true. It's whatever. It's a made-for-TV Christmas movie.
Yes.
However, I was not prepared for its utter, complete dedication to making sexy Santa a thing. Like, this movie was so, like, that was the goal. Like, that was the main focus. That was the goal. That was in the script. They were like, okay, Kurt Russell does like a shimmy here. He starts singing about sliding down your tree. He turns these prostitutes into his backup singers, and they are all wet. Like, they wanted you to know that Santa on the regular. Like,
on the regular.
Like, on the regular. He had his, like, blowing in the breeze Kurt Russell hair and his zaddy beard. And I'm just like, it made me uncomfortable because how dedicated they were to being like, and he was serious about it. He was like mad at the representations of Santa being unattractive.
Wait. Did it make you uncomfortable at how good he looked?
Yes. That was uncomfortable, and I was not happy about it, but I couldn't stop watching it, and I'm mad about that. I mean, Netflix, come on. And that movie was way more enjoyable than it should have been, because Kurt Russell is way more enjoyable than most, and more compelling than most, and he just decided that he was going to make Sexy Santa a thing, and that was his entire motivation for this thing. It was nuts. This movie was bananas. And like, you're right, it was a bag of random. Like, it was like, okay, so this is the part where we have the kids and it's your normal Home Alone Christmas movie. Then Sexy Santa shows up and he's doing his thing, and he's mad that his butt looks big on the billboard, and you're just like, all right, Santa. And he's like mad that like he's like looks good and can eat 1,000,000 cookies, and that people don't think
nobody notices it.
Nobody notices it. And then like he's got his like really nice 3-piece suit vest.
I didn't notice. I was like, wow, he is.
Yeah, right. Like, Santa was like styling in this, and then
gets arrested.
Then he gets arrested, which I was like, okay, Santa's going to jail. But then he like has a party in jail, like a sexy jazz party in jail. You're just like, this is so weird.
Yeah.
I felt like if this movie had ditched the kid, and then random CGI elves show up, and it turns into a completely different movie. But I felt like if this movie, I mean, they called it the Christmas Chronicles, which was very ambitious. Like, I feel like they want it to be a series of movies, and maybe with different kids, but the same Santa situation. However, I do feel like if we had ditched the kids altogether, and this was just Santa going on a caper and his sleigh breaking down, and then he gets arrested and does all his, like, if it was just a Santa movie.
Yes.
I would have been I mean, I was already kind of into it, but I would have been like, it's the Christmas Chronicles, and like just Santa going out having shenanigans and helping older people, adults. And then, you know, maybe there's a couple kids, but the through line's not the kids.
Yes. I agree. I like that. Yes.
Right?
Yes.
As a Netflix movie, though, I do feel like it was a success. If this was a theatrical release, I would say wait till it came out on Netflix.
Yeah. Wait till Netflix.
So I mean, is to round out your holiday season when your kids go to bed and you guys start getting a little tipsy, the Christmas Chronicles is what's up.
I mean, listen, if you got kids at home anywhere from like the 4 to 10 range, you could sit down, watch this with them. They'll love it.
They'll love it.
It's fun and goofy. But just watching it on my own,
as a grown-ass man just sitting on
grown-ass
the couch
man.
watching the
I'm just like, look, I'm digging the Kurt Russell. Let me just stay with him and see what he's doing.
Right.
But all this other kid stuff was just, I was like,
and then to give away the secret that Goldie Hawn comes in as Mrs. Claus, let me tell you though, that was kind of hot. Like, Santa and Mrs. Claus are fucking. Like, they are.
Come on. Like, come on now.
Like, it was weirdly sensual. When she comes in and just like, they probably just did in the trailer before they shot that scene. Like, it was palpable.
They look very relaxed. They were
so relaxed. Like, the tension was palpable. Like, I wish to be in a relationship like that for 30 years or whatever and still have that tension be like taut. It was crackling.
I mean, she even asked him, "You were being naughty, weren't you?" And he was like, in a nice kind of way. I'm like, all right now.
I was like, okay. that tension between Santa and Mrs. Claus was taut.
I mean, look, listen. If they make more of them,
I'd watch a caper movie with Santa and Mrs. Claus. Like, be real.
Yeah. If it's Kurt Russell and Goldie Hawn, I will watch it because they were the best parts of this. Without a doubt. Without a doubt.
So our general consensus is this is a good movie for Netflix. Like, throw it in your Christmas mix, but don't be, grown-ass man watching it alone. Unless you want to be.
Unless you're that much of a Kurt Russell fan.
I mean, who's not?
Then knock yourself out. That's true.
Who's not?
Then knock yourself out. Exactly. Wow.
So anyway, that's our 10 minutes. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Leave a comment on any other movies you want us to watch. We will watch anything. If we can both get our grubby little hands on it, we will watch it. We might not like it, but we'll power through. But Don, you want to tell them where they can find us on the normal? You can find us at tcadnetwork.com. That's where it all congregates. Everything we've got, from the 10-minute takes to the podcast episodes to Good Morning Antioch, it is all there. Now, if you're one who just wants to know the particulars, you can find us on iTunes, we're on Stitcher, we're on Hipcast, we got the Facebook page, facebook.com/TCAD Podcast. We got a Twitter feed, TCAD Podcast. Miss Stewart's got her own feed, Actor on the Edge. We've got the email, tcadpodcast@gmail.com. We've got a phone number, 504-345-9344. But all that comes together under tcadnetwork.com. So go there. All right there for you. We can't make it any easier. All right. That's it. That's it. Bye. All right. We got it. Movie was just like, it was bananas. Like, everything that happened, it was like, oh, so that's what's happening now? Oh, so that's what's happening now. So that's what's happening now? Like, from the moment she shimmied up the light pole and then decided to leap into the sleigh, I was like, all right, all bets are off on this movie then. We're just doing whatever.